You think you're losing them. You think it's over. But what if I told you you're not being abandoned? You're being protected. You're not losing love. Allah is rewriting it. And when Allah rewrites a love story, it doesn't return the same. It returns unbreakable. One separation is Allah's mercy in disguise. Sometimes when two people drift apart, it feels like the most painful thing in the world. You may sit there wondering, why would Allah let this happen? Why now when I needed them the most? But what you don't realize is that this separation is not Allah's anger. It's His mercy covering you. Allah knows things about our hearts that we don't even understand ourselves. He knows when two people are carrying wounds, insecurities and baggage that if left together will only break them further. Sometimes two people love each other, but they love each other in the wrong way through jealousy, control, fear, or dependence. And Allah in His kindness steps in to stop it before it goes too far. You might feel abandoned, but what's really happening is that Allah is rescuing you from a love that was too weak to hold you both. He's pulling you apart, not to destroy you, but to save you. He's giving you both a chance to heal, to grow, to become stronger versions of yourselves. Because if you were to stay together in that broken state, you would only keep wounding each other over and over again. And instead of building something beautiful, you would tear each other down without meaning to. So Allah out of love says, not yet, you're not ready, but I'll prepare you. This is why the break isn't always a curse. It's often a hidden blessing. It's Allah saying, I love you too much to watch you destroy each other. And when you understand this, your heart slowly moves from pain to patience, from heartbreak to hope. Your growth comes before reunion. You may think the most important thing right now is for them to come back into your life. You keep praying, hoping, waiting for that moment when you're reunited, when everything goes back to how it was. But here's the truth that many people miss. Before reunion, there must be transformation. Allah in His wisdom knows that bringing two people back together too soon, before they've healed and grown, only leads to more heartbreak. If He allowed that reunion to happen now without any inner change, the same problems, the same wounds, and the same misunderstandings would keep showing up. You would fall into the same patterns and nothing would truly be different. That's why this season of waiting isn't wasted time. It's preparation time. It's a time when Allah is calling you to focus on you. He's giving you space to look within, to rediscover your own value, to strengthen your heart, to heal from the things you've been carrying for too long. It's easy to think, I'll be happy when they come back, but Allah is teaching you to find your peace before they return. Because real love is not about two broken people trying to complete each other. It's about two whole people sharing a love that lifts each other up. During this time, Allah is helping you become a version of yourself that is more patient, more forgiving, more understanding. You're learning how to stand on your own 2 feet, how to connect with Allah deeply, how to let go of your fears and insecurity. And when you reach that place of strength, you'll be ready for love in a way that doesn't come from desperation but from inner fullness. So don't waste this waiting period by only looking at the door hoping it will open. Use this time to build yourself from the inside out. Because when the reunion finally happens, if it's written, it will be between two people who have been reborn, not just reconnected. And that makes all the difference. You're being pulled back to the real author. In moments of heartbreak and confusion, we often fixate on the person we've lost. We think about their absence, their silence, their distance. We replay every memory, every conversation, wondering where it all went wrong. But what we don't realize is that through this heartbreak, Allah is pulling us back to Him, the true author of our story. When you're in love, it's easy to place that person at the center of your life, sometimes without even noticing it. Their words, their presence, their approval start to matter more than anything else. Slowly, your heart becomes so attached to the creation that it drifts away from the Creator. And because Allah loves you more than anyone else ever could, He sometimes intervenes and gently removes that person, not to punish you but to remind you, come back to me. I am the one who writes your story. This moment of loss is not just about the other person, it's a divine invitation. Allah is pulling you back to you're being pulled back to the real author. In moments of heartbreak and confusion, we often fixate on the person we've lost. We think about their absence, their silence, their distance. We replay every memory, every conversation, wondering where it all went wrong. But what we don't realize is that through this heartbreak, Allah is pulling us back to Him, the true author of our story. When you're in love, it's easy to place that person at the center of your life, sometimes without even noticing it. Their words, their presence, their approval start to matter more than anything else. Slowly, your heart becomes so attached to the creation that it drifts away from the Creator. And because Allah loves you more than anyone else ever could, He sometimes intervenes and gently removes that person, not to punish you but to remind you, come back to me. I am the one who writes your story. This moment of loss is not just about the other person, it's a divine invitation. Allah is pulling you back to the source of real love, the only love that never disappoints, never leaves, never fades. The pain you're feeling is not random, it's a wake-up call to return to your Lord, to trust Him, to surrender the pen you've been gripping so tightly, trying to control the outcome. When you try to write your own story, you carry the burden of making everything work. You chase, you force, you stress, you beg. But when you hand the pen back to Allah, you release the burden. You say, Ya Allah, you know my heart. You know what I need. Write what's best for me, and I will trust you. This shift from chasing the creation to trusting the Creator is where your peace begins. You start to remember that people are only part of your journey. They are not the source of your worth. You stop asking why did they leave, and you start asking what is Allah trying to teach me through this. And as you reconnect with Allah, something powerful happens. Your heart softens, your fears ease, and you stop clinging to people who were never meant to carry your soul. You return to the one who wrote your story long before you were born, the one who knows how it ends, and the one who promises that whatever He writes is always better than what we imagine. You're not losing them, you're losing the old version. It's so easy to believe that when someone leaves your life, you've lost them forever. You sit in the silence thinking, they're gone, it's over, we'll never find our way back. But what you don't realize is that sometimes you're not losing the person, you're losing the old version of them, and the old version of yourself. And that's exactly what Allah wants. The person you loved may have been caring, kind, and important to you, but they were also human. They had wounds you couldn't heal, flaws you couldn't fix, struggles you couldn't see, and you were carrying your own baggage too, insecurities, fears, habits, and expectations that weighed the relationship down. Allah in His mercy knows that certain versions of us are not meant to stay together. If He allowed you both to continue without growth, without change, you would keep repeating the same pattern. The relationship would circle around the same arguments, the same disappointments, the same pain, until it eventually collapsed. So Allah steps in, not to destroy the bond, but to purify it. He separates you so you both can evolve, transform, and outgrow the old selves that weren't ready for this level of love. It's not about erasing the past, it's about rebuilding the future. The version of you that needed constant reassurance, that settled for less, that feared abandonment, that version is being reshaped. The version of them that didn't know how to communicate, that ran from accountability, that struggled to offer consistency, that version is being refined too. This is why when Allah brings two people back together after time apart, it often feels like meeting someone entirely new. Their eyes carry wisdom they didn't have before. Your heart carries strength it didn't know before. The conversations are deeper, the connection is more patient, and the love is no longer desperate. It's intention. So instead of mourning the loss of the old version, trust that Allah is making space for the new and better version to appear. You're not losing them. You're losing the parts of each other that were never meant to survive the next chapter. And when the time is right, you'll see why the old had to be left behind, for something far more beautiful to emerge. 5. The delay is a divine upgrade. When life makes you wait, it's one of the hardest tests of faith. You pray, you cry, you beg Allah to bring that person back to fix what's broken, to speed up the process. And yet all you hear is silence. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, And you start to wonder, has Allah forgotten me? Has He denied me what I asked for? When life makes you wait, it's one of the hardest tests of faith. You pray, you cry, you beg Allah to bring that person back to fix what's broken, to speed up the process. And yet all you hear is silence. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and you start to wonder, has Allah forgotten me? Has He denied me what I asked for? But here's the truth that so many overlook. The delay is not rejection. The delay is a divine upgrade. Allah doesn't withhold because He wants to punish you. Allah withholds because He wants to prepare you for something better, sometimes better than you even know how to ask for. The delay is His way of clearing out the things that would have harmed you, distracted you, or made you settle for less than you're worth. Right now you may feel like you're ready. You may think, if only they come back, I'll be happy. But Allah sees beyond what you can see. He sees what needs to mature inside you. He sees what needs to be softened or strengthened in them. He sees the doors that must close, the lessons that must unfold, and the blessings that need to align before you can receive what you desire in the way that's best for you. Sometimes when Allah delays, it's because He's busy upgrading you both, shaping your character, your patience, your wisdom, your understanding of love. He's teaching you how to rely on Him first, so you don't treat another human being like your savior. He's helping you become the kind of person who won't sabotage the blessing when it finally arrives. And here's the most beautiful part. When Allah finally gives you what's written for you, after that season of waiting, you will look back and say, Alhamdulillah for every delay, every closed door, every moment I didn't understand. Because when it comes, it will come with ease. It will feel right, not rushed. It will feel like peace, not chaos. It will feel like home, not a battlefield. So instead of seeing the delay as a punishment, start seeing it as an upgrade in progress. Trust that the longer Allah makes you wait, the sweeter the reunion will be, not just with the person you long for, but with the version of yourself you were always meant to become. True love will circle back, but healed. When a person leaves your life, the first thought that often haunts you is, will they ever come back? You wonder if this is the end, if the bond is permanently broken, if the love you shared will just fade into memory. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. If the love is true, if it's written for you, it will circle back, but not the same, not broken, not wounded. It will come back healed. Too often we romanticize the idea of someone returning just as they are, just as we remember them. But what we forget is that if they come back without change, without growth, without transformation, the same issues will replay again and again. It's like rewinding an old movie and expecting a new ending. Allah in His infinite wisdom knows this. That's why when He separates two people, it's not just about distance or time, it's about healing. It's about stripping away what was toxic, what was immature, what was ego-driven in the relationship. It's about allowing both of you to face yourselves without the distraction of each other. It's in that space, that silence, that the real work begins. For you, this may be a season of learning to let go of attachment, of learning to stand without depending on constant reassurance, of finding peace in your own heart. For them it may be a season of reflection, of realizing mistakes, of understanding how to love with more patience, respect and sincerity. So if it's written for you, when the love circles back, it will not be the same love you lost. It will be a transformed love. They won't return as the exact person you remember, and you won't be the same either. You will meet again as two people who have walked through fire and been refined by it. And that reunion, if Allah wills it, will carry a depth and stability that no rushed love ever could. But here's the key. You cannot force this process. You cannot rush the healing or manipulate the outcome. You have to let Allah lead. You have to surrender the timeline, the details, the when and how. And you have to trust that if it's truly written for you, nothing in this world can stop it from returning at the right moment. Not even time, not even distance. So instead of chasing after the person, chase after your own growth. Focus on becoming whole, on reconnecting with your Creator, on preparing your heart for the kind of love that is not just about romance, but about peace, purpose, and a connection that pulls you both closer to Allah, because that is the love that lasts. Without divine timing, love collapses. One of the hardest truths to accept in love is that no matter how strong your feelings are, no matter how deep your connection is, without divine timing, love collapses. You can have the right person in front of you, but if the timing is wrong, everything feels heavy. Conversations turn into arguments,
Small issues turn into big fights. Love becomes something you have to drag forward instead of something that flows naturally. 7. Without divine timing, love collapses. One of the hardest truths to accept in love is that no matter how strong your feelings are, no matter how deep your connection is, without divine timing, love collapses. You can have the right person in front of you, but if the timing is wrong, everything feels heavy. Conversations turn into arguments. Small issues turn into big fights. Love becomes exhausting instead of uplifting, and you begin to wonder why something that was once so beautiful now feels so broken. But the truth is, it's not just about having the right person. It's about Allah bringing two hearts together at the right time, because timing shapes everything. When the timing is wrong, even the right person can feel like the wrong one. But when the timing is right, hearts that were once drifting apart can come together in the most powerful, peaceful way. Think of it like planting a seed. If you plant it in winter, no matter how much you water it, it won't bloom, not because the seed is bad, but because the season is wrong. But when you plant it in spring, when the earth is soft and the sun is warm, that same seed bursts to life, effortless. This is how divine timing works in love. Allah knows when both souls are ready, when both hearts have softened, when both minds have matured, when both people have learned the lessons they were meant to learn. Only then does He bring them back together, and only then can the relationship survive and thrive. But when we rush ahead of Allah's plan, when we try to force love on our own terms, we often end up exhausted and heartbroken. We start chasing someone who isn't ready. We try to build something on a shaky foundation, and eventually the weight of it all becomes too much, and it crumbles. That's why patience is so crucial. Trust that if it's meant for you, Allah is not saying no, He's saying not yet. And that not yet is where your growth happens, where your faith deepens, where your resilience is built. So instead of asking why is this taking so long, ask what is Allah preparing me for? Because when the timing is right, you won't have to force anything. The doors will open naturally. The hearts will align without pushing, and love will flow with ease, because it will be rooted in divine wisdom, not human urgency. 8. What's meant for you can't miss you. One of the most comforting truths you can hold on to in this life is this: what's meant for you can't miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. No matter how much you wanted it, no matter how tightly you tried to hold on, in moments of heartbreak, it's so easy to fall into the trap of regret. You replay every conversation, every mistake, every goodbye, thinking maybe if I had done this differently, maybe if I hadn't said that, maybe they would have stayed. But here's the reality you must understand. Allah's plan is bigger than your action, and His wisdom is greater than your understanding. What is written for you was written before you were even born. The souls you were meant to meet, the relationships you were meant to experience, the love you were meant to receive, it's all written in your card. You don't have to beg for it, you don't have to chase it, and you certainly don't have to compromise your worth for it. When you trust in Allah's plan, you free yourself from the chains of anxiety and desperation. You stop thinking that you have to control every outcome, fix every detail, or hold people in your life by force. Instead, you begin to walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that if something is truly yours by the will of Allah, it will find its way to you at the right time, in the right way, without you having to damage yourself to keep it. And the beautiful part is, sometimes Allah removes something from your life, not to hurt you, but to protect you from what you can't yet see. That relationship you wanted so badly might have been a test, not a blessing. That person you thought was your forever might have been a chapter, not the whole story. And when Allah closes that door, it's not rejection, it's redirection towards something better, something more aligned with your growth and purpose. So instead of asking why did they leave, or what if I never find someone like them again, remind your heart of this truth: if they were truly meant for me, they will return, and if not, Allah will replace them with something even greater. Let this belief settle into your soul, because it's the foundation of true peace. You can breathe easier, you can sleep at night, you can walk through life with an open heart, knowing that you are being guided by the one who knows you better than you know yourself. In the end, it's not people who complete your story, it's Allah. And when you anchor your heart to Him, you'll never fear losing what was never meant to stay, and you'll never miss what was always written to find you. You're not losing them, you're losing the old chapter, and Allah is preparing the most beautiful rewrite of your life. Raise your hands and whisper, Ya Allah, I surrender my story to you. Bring me what's written for me, and make me ready to receive it. Because when you trust the author, the ending is always better than the one you imagine.